My name is Barbie the Welder and I'm a full-time metal sculptor. Today I'm going to share with you a really easy project, how to make a shamrock using horseshoes. Today we're going to need 4 horseshoes to make a shamrock, and if you want to make a 4-leaf clover you're going to need 5 horseshoes. The size doesn't matter on the horseshoes because it's art, and you can make a larger shamrock with larger shoes or a smaller shamrock with the smaller shoes. For your project today you're going to need to cut one of the horseshoes. So to do that you're going to need a cutoff wheel, and I'm using my Tiger Zerk. It's an ultra cut, a very thin cutoff disc made by Weiler Abrasives. So your first step is going to be, you're going to want to take your horseshoe and you're going to want to cut it right down the center. And you can either mark it with a marker or you can eyeball it and cut it. And you're going to want to clamp this into a bench vise or clamp it to your bench with a clamp to make sure that it's securely clamped for safety. And always when you're cutting and grinding, make sure that you're wearing safety glasses. And I also wear a visor on top of my safety glasses, and I always tie my hair back. Now when you cut your horseshoe in half, you're going to only need 1/2 of the horseshoe, so just set the other piece aside for another project. So here's my layout, and you can adjust this slightly just by moving this out or in just a little bit, but basically you're just going to have each of the ends touch. You can have your stem over to the side or more down. I like mine more down just so that for me I feel like it balances it out. So once you have your layout the way you want it, we're going to get out our welder and we are just going to tack each of the pieces to each other in 2 spots, one on each side here and here. Once you have it tacked up where you want it, flip it over and take a look at it. Make sure it looks the way you want to, and if you're happy with how it is, flip it back over and you're just going to do a small weld from tack to tack, welding each spot. Now that you have the back side welded, you can make a decision whether you want to weld the front or not. The way I left this, there's a small gap in between the stems, so I'm going to go ahead and weld the front. If you take your time and do a real straight weld, it'll look good without having to grind it. Now that you have your shamrock welded up, you want to take a wire brush and you want to clean any of the weld discoloration, any place that you welded. As you're doing that, it should knock off most of the weld spatter, the small little dots of weld. But if it doesn't, you take a hammer, it's a small hammer and a chisel, and you want to chip any of that weld spatter off. There you all go. A fun and easy project you can do in your shop in about ½ hour or 45 minutes. Once it's all cooled off, you can use a clear coat or you can paint it to suit your taste if you want. If y'all love this project, I wrote the book on horseshoe welding projects. There's more than 30 projects that you can weld at home just using horseshoes and simple techniques like I showed you here. It is filled with pictures throughout the whole thing and just step-by-step instructions that let you show all different kinds of projects and all different kinds of ways that you can make them and tailor them to your very own needs. Thank you all so very much for watching the video. If you want more Barbie, check me out over on Instagram and Facebook and I'll put a link in the description to get the book and to share with you where I buy my horseshoes. Thank y'all.